My name is Minnie. I'm sitting in a law office, across the table from my parents. The tension in the room is palpable, like a storm about to break. My father, Henry, is red-faced and stressed, his business suit frayed at the edges. My mother, Vera, is wearing a gaudy faux fur coat and sunglasses, even though it's raining outside. She's clutching a tissue, ready to cry at any moment. They stop when they see me. Minnie, my father says, confusion lacing his voice. What are you doing here? We have a meeting with a lawyer. I am the meeting, Dad, I reply, not bothering to stand up. My mother scoffs, don't be ridiculous. We've been worried sick about you. You ran off, abandoned the family winery. Do you know how much we've lost? You're going to pay for that. She marches to a chair and plops down. My father looks at the lawyer, Mr. Thompson, a sharp-looking man in his late 40s, a suit that probably costs more than my car. Who are you? Where's the loan officer? Mr. Thompson smiles calmly. I'm Mr. Thompson. I represent your daughter, Minnie. There is no loan officer. This is a settlement conference. Settlement? For what? My father laughs nervously. She's our daughter, our employee. If anyone should be settling, it's her for walking off the job. He points a finger at me, but it no longer terrifies me. I lean forward. No. I'm not coming home. I'm not fixing the equipment. I'm not your employee, and I'm certainly not your daughter anymore. My mother gasps, how dare you? After everything we've done for you, giving you a home and a job. I retort, you gave me a debt and a crime. I slide a folder across the table, right in front of my father. Open it. He looks at the folder, then at me. He sees something in my eyes he's never seen before, determination. He opens the folder, and his face turns ashen when he sees the top document, the Minnie Winery Inheritance Trust. What? What is this? He stammers. You know what it is, I say. Keep reading. He turns the page and sees the withdrawal slips. My mother leans over to look, and when she sees the signatures, her own handwriting, she lets out a high-pitched whimper and pulls her coat tighter around her neck. That's a mistake, my father says, his voice shaking. It's just paperwork, a misunderstanding. I shake my head. It's not a misunderstanding, Henry. It's a felony, grand larceny, aggravated identity theft, wire fraud. I went to the police. Detective Harris has the originals and has verified the forgeries. He's ready to arrest you. My parents freeze, and the only sound in the room is the rain hitting the window. My mother whispers, you went to the police? You called the police on your own parents. I shoot back, you stole from your own child. $150,000. You took my grandmother's gift and spent it on my sister, Lily. My mother cries, we had to help her. She has so much potential. We were going to pay it back once she made it big. I scoff, Lily has been in New York for 5 years. She hasn't had a real job. She's had parties, funded by me. My father slams his hand on the table. It's family money. You're being selfish, hoarding it while your sister struggles. Mr. Thompson interjects, his voice cold. It was a trust. Legally, that money belonged to Minnie alone. By accessing it without her permission, you committed theft. By signing her name, you committed forgery. These are facts. He leans forward. Here's the situation. Detective Harris is waiting for a text from Minnie. If she sends it, a squad car will be at your house in 20 minutes. You'll be arrested, booked into jail, and with this evidence, you'll go to prison for at least 5 years. My father slumps in his chair. Prison? I can't go to prison. I have a bad back. I say, then you shouldn't have committed a crime. My mother asks, what do you want? I push a legal settlement agreement across the table. You will liquidate the winery, sell the land, equipment, and the house. You will pay me $150,000 plus interest, totaling $165,000. And then you will leave me alone, forever. If you try to contact me, the deal is off, and I'll press charges. My father looks shocked. You're disowning us? We're your family. I reply, I'm firing you. You were bad parents, bad bosses, and bad people. I'm terminating the relationship. My father's hands shake as he reaches for the pen. He signs, then passes the paper to my mother. She sobs and signs. I take the paper back, check the signatures, and say, get out. They stand up slowly, looking like ghosts. My father turns around and says, you're cruel, Minnie. I never thought you had it in you. I look him in the eye. I learned from the best. As they leave, the door clicks shut behind them. Mr. Thompson looks at me and smiles. Well done, Minnie. I turn my chair to look out the window. The rain is washing the city clean. I don't feel cruel, I feel free. Let me take you back to how I got here. I grew up in a family winery in Napa Valley. My sister, Lily, was the apple of my parents' eyes. She was beautiful, talented, and always in the spotlight. I, on the other hand, was the one who did all the hard work. I remember when I was 14. It was harvest season, and the winery was swamped. My father came to me, Minnie, we need to move these barrels to the storage. The forklift is broken. You'll have to do it by hand. I looked at the heavy barrels and said, Dad, they're too heavy. Can't we wait for the repairman? He snapped, don't be lazy. Use your muscles. This is your responsibility. I spent the whole day moving those barrels, my back aching and my hands blistered. Meanwhile, Lily was at a dance recital, being praised by my parents. As I got older, the situation only got worse. I was in college, studying viticulture, but I was still running the winery's finances on weekends. One time, the accounting system crashed right before payday. My father threw a stack of papers at me. Fix it, Minnie. If the employees don't get paid, they'll leave. I missed a big presentation at college and a date with a guy I liked. I sat in the office all night, manually entering data, stressed and in tears. The next morning, when I walked into the kitchen, exhausted, my parents were having breakfast with Lily. Oh, look who's finally up, my mother said, not even looking at me. Lily just got a call back for a big modeling gig. We're so proud. I asked, what about the payroll? I saved the winery last night. My father waved his hand. That's just administrative work. It's expected of you. Don't fish for compliments. For years, I paid the rent for my parents' city apartment. They said they needed it for business meetings, but I knew it was just for their comfort. My salary at the winery was barely enough to cover my own small apartment, but I always put their needs first. Then came Thanksgiving. I had just landed a $25,000 contract that saved the winery from bankruptcy. We were having dinner in the cellar because my mother wanted a rustic atmosphere. I was sweating, my shirt sticking to my back. Lily sat across from me, looking perfect as always. She had just gotten a call for a high-end perfume commercial. My father stood up, tapped his glass, and raised his wine glass to Lily. To our star, for bringing glamour into our lives. I couldn't hold it in anymore. Dad, I just saved the winery today. The contract is signed. He looked at me with cold eyes. Minnie, stop being jealous. You were born to work the land so Lily can shine. That's the way it is. I felt a strange calm come over me. I reached into my pocket and pulled out the keys to the winery, the keys to the equipment, the storage, and the safe. I looked at the plate of mashed potatoes in the middle of the table and dropped the keys right into it. Then the land is on its own, I said, standing up and looking my father in the eye. I walked out of the cellar, and the cold air hit me like a slap. It was a shock, but it felt good. Inside, the air was thick with the smell of wine and damp earth. Outside, it was just the crisp Napa Valley air. I got into my old car, a 10-year-old Ford that smelled like grapes. I drove away, not looking back. I stopped at a gas station and opened my banking app. I canceled the recurring rent payment for my parents' apartment and reported their credit card as lost. I knew they would panic. The card would be declined, and the landlord would call my father. But I didn't care. I was done being their doormat. I drove to the coast, staying in a cheap motel. The next morning, my phone was flooded with messages. 47 missed calls and 82 text messages. 8 a.m. M. Dad, where are you? The pumps aren't working. 8:15 a.m. M. Dad, Minnie, pick up. The temperature in the storage is dropping. 9:30 a.m. M. Mom, stop this tantrum. Your father is stressed. Come fix the system. I laughed dryly. They were falling apart without me. Around 5 p.m. M. My phone rang. It was a number I didn't recognize. I let it go to voicemail, but it rang again. I picked up. Hello, Minnie? It was a woman's voice, sharp but kind. It's your Aunt Rose. Your mother called me, saying you've gone crazy. I said calmly, I just left. I'm done with this. Aunt Rose said, I know. I've always known your parents were unfair. I have something of yours. Your grandmother left it with me. She said to give it to you when you were ready to walk away. Ready for what? I asked. Ready to take control of your life, she replied. Meet me at the diner on Highway 1, the one with the big fish sign, in an hour. I met Aunt Rose at the diner. She was sitting in a booth, looking as sharp as ever with her short silver hair and bright red lipstick. She pointed to the seat across from her. You look like you've been through hell, Minnie. I slid into the booth. Thanks. I feel great. She pushed a mug of coffee towards me and then pulled out a metal lockbox from her bag. Your grandmother, Clara, gave this to me a week before she passed. She knew your parents. She knew they would take advantage of you if they could. I stared at the box. What is it? Open it, she said. I peeled the tape off the key and unlocked the box. Inside were old bank statements and legal documents. The top paper was a trust deed, the Minnie Winery Inheritance Trust. Beneficiary, Minnie. Trustees, Henry and Vera. Initial deposit, $150,000. I gasped. I never knew about this. They told me Grandma died broke. Aunt Rose spat, lies. Read the transaction history. I turned the page. January 12, 2018, withdrawal, $45,000. March 4, 2018, withdrawal, $30,000. June 15, 2018, withdrawal, $75,000. Balance, $0. I looked at the dates. January 2018 was when Lily moved to New York. March 2018 was when she got her portfolio done. June 2018 was when she bought a fancy car. They spent it on Lily, I said, my voice trembling. Aunt Rose said, keep looking at the withdrawal slips. I pulled out the copies of the bank slips. At the bottom of each one was a signature, Minnie. But it wasn't my signature. I recognized my mother's handwriting. The loops, the slants, it was all her. She forged my signature, I said, the realization hitting me like a punch. Aunt Rose said, this is fraud, Minnie. Grand larceny, identity theft. It's a felony. I sat back in the booth, the diner noise fading away. I thought about all the years of sacrifice, the ramen noodles I ate, the old clothes I wore. There was money all along, and they stole it. I pulled out my phone and dialed the police non-emergency line. Hello, my name is Minnie. I'd like to report a theft and forgery. The amount is over $100,000. I have the documents in front of me, and I know who did it. Aunt Rose raised her coffee mug in a toast. It's time for justice, Minnie. After that, I went to the police station. Detective Harris was a tired-looking man with bags under his eyes. He listened to my story and examined the documents. He said, "This is a significant case, Minnie. If we pursue this, and the evidence holds up, your parents are looking at prison time. Are you sure you want to do this?" I thought about all the years of being taken advantage of, all the pain and suffering. I said, yes. I'm ready for justice. I'm done protecting them. And that's how I ended up in this law office, facing my parents, finally taking control of my life. 2 years have passed since that day. I sold the old winery and used the money to buy a small piece of land. I started a small landscape design business, helping people create beautiful gardens. I live in a cozy cottage on my land. I have a dog, Max, who follows me everywhere. I have a boyfriend, Tom, a carpenter who built me a beautiful greenhouse. I don't talk to my parents. Aunt Rose tells me that my father is bitter, telling people I stole his business. My mother is still waiting for Lily to become a famous model. I don't wish them harm, but I don't think about them either. I've learned that I am not the background character in my life. I am the foundation, and I choose what to support. I've planted my own roots and am growing into the person I was always meant to be.